Today we're going to talk about the Steam Deck, Valve's mobile gaming computer. That's right, you heard me right. This is a computer. You can surf the web. So far, every game I have played, it has handled wonderfully up to 60 FPS, and you can mod games. If you're trying to get into PC gaming, this is probably the best thing you can do if you're transitioning from console to PC. So there are 3 versions of the Steam Deck out right now, and the only thing that differentiates them from each other is the storage. I believe the first one has a different type of storage. The rest are NVMe SSD, but the storage is 64, 256, which I have the 256 gigabyte one, and 512 gigabytes. But just because I said the storage is small doesn't mean you can't expand it. There is a micro SD slot right here, which I have a 512 gigabyte SSD into this, and you could add memory however you choose. Now, I'm not sponsored by this at all, but I am gonna talk about some good things. And at the very end of the video, I will talk about the bad and what I think about this overall. So let's get into the good things, starting from the outside going in. Now, first off, I will say the Steam Deck is absolutely comfortable. I didn't expect that. Looking at it, and a lot of other people thought this too, but when you look at it, it's big. It looks like it's not gonna be comfortable. Some people were complaining about the buttons being too close to the edge, but when I grabbed this, it was one of the most comfortable handhelds I've ever held in my life. I thought the Switch was pretty good, honestly, but then now that I go from the Steam Deck to the Switch just feels super uncomfortable. I don't even like playing my Switch anymore. I'll say this also feels very rugged, and my Switch just feels like I'm about to snap it in half now that I've played the Steam Deck. Going back to my Switch, the Switch honestly feels super uncomfortable now that I'm playing it. And honestly, it kind of feels like a very similar size to the Switch, but it's very noticeable in the thickness of the Switch. It seems like paper thin compared to this, but this is my all-time favorite handheld now. And the second to that, if you want to compare anything, it would be the Nintendo 2DS. Even though it was like 2D, I really loved the Nintendo's 2DS. It felt very comfortable, and this tops that. This is the best handheld I've held out of any handheld gaming system out there. Now, talking about the heating, a lot of people complain, I see it quite a bit about the heating of this. It does get hot, but I have pretty big hands, and if you can tell, it usually gets hot right in the middle, and that's where the exhaust fan is, and I can't reach that, and it's never bothered me once. The heat has never been an issue. My phone gets hot sometimes, and I feel like this is pretty good. I actually put a thermometer on here to test how hot it gets, and it did get up to 120 degrees on the outside. So if you have a pet bearded dragon, you'd probably love to lay on there. Next up is the track pads. I'm not a fan of track pads on anything, including laptops, and I thought these were gonna be horrible just by the size of them, where they're located, and honestly, they're not too bad. I have really big thumbs, and I feel like I use them pretty good. I feel like there's nothing bad to say about them. They're just an average trackpad. If you've played one trackpad, you kind of played them all. The feedback on them is pretty cool. That is one thing I noticed that helps with them, is the feedback, that when you feel them, you feel like a rumble, you can feel it. It feels like there's a little bit of vibration going over it, and I really like that. Now, the sound from this is very good. I feel like it's very loud, it's perfect, I can hear it. I actually have to keep this a little bit below halfway when playing it. Other than that, it's like blasting in my ears. The microphone on this as well is very good. I've tested out the microphone, and I couldn't believe how good the microphone sounded, but I guess there's a microphone in anything, but I just come from the days when microphones were horrible. Now let's go ahead and get to the buttons, the controller of this. And to me, even though it's not kind of set up how the Xbox is, because you know the Xbox is set up with the joystick up here, it's kind of like a diagonal joystick setup. This feels like an Xbox 360 setup. When I play this, I feel like I'm playing an Xbox 360 controller. It feels very good. It feels perfect. Like I said, the control, everything, even the back buttons, they feel great. I love the back buttons on this. And the fact that you can map all the controls however you want to. It's just like, nowadays I see a lot of custom controllers. Xbox makes them, PlayStation makes them. There's tons of, Scuff, they have Scuff. And they come with like software, you can do all that. There's no need on this. This is a PC. It comes in there. You could go in there. You could customize it whichever button you want, and I love that about this. Plus, it comes with the extra buttons, just like the Scuffs, the Elite controllers, and everything else. But I really, really feel like this is comfortable. The button placements, I know a lot of people complain, like I said, this is too close to the edge. I have had no problem with that. It feels great. It feels comfortable. And the screen, to me, looks great. Everybody who's seen the screen has said how great it looks. Even I don't have the anti-glare screen, but I feel like I have no problem. I don't know what the difference is, although I've never seen an anti-glare screen, but I feel like this is perfect. The only time I notice there's a glare is when I put a camera in front of it, like for this video. I could definitely see the glare, but other than that, I cannot. Next up is the touchscreen. Now, here's the thing. This is where I said it's really weird, and I had this Steam Deck for like a couple months, and when I first got it, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was very frustrated with it. This thing was buggy beyond belief. At the time, the touchscreen was the worst touchscreen I've ever used in my life, but that has changed so much. I'm so glad I didn't make the video then until now, because just this past month, every problem I had with it has gone out the door. It's been updated. They have updated, and the touchscreen is so much better. And there was times when like the whole system would just, it would be workable, but like the controllers are freezed up and I can't do anything, or the touchscreen's freezed up and I can't use the touchscreen. It was just bugs like that, and they fixed it, and everything works good now. So in this video, I don't really have anything bad to say about it. I'm just telling you the good. Now that we've talked about the outside and the comfortability of this, let's go ahead and go on the inside. So the inside, right off the bat, blew me away. I have thrown everything I can at this, and it has handled it gracefully. This is one thing I am loving about this. Like I said, I got this a few months back, and when I first got it, I really did not like Steam OS. I didn't like Linux. I didn't like how any of that. I'm a Windows guy. I like Windows games. I'm used to Windows. I grew up on Windows. I never touched this. And so it takes some getting used to if you're not used to that. However, over time, I am going to install Windows on this to check it out, but now there's like a part of me that doesn't. It's grown on me. I didn't think that at all was going to happen, but the Steam OS has actually grown on me. I feel like it is actually easy to use. It's easy to get to your games. You could go to desktop mode and get on the internet, and for some reason, just a part of me that I don't want to do it now, but I'm definitely going to do it because I want to try out some stuff in the Windows modes. But so far, everything I've thrown at this, it's played 60 FPS. Even new games might drop down to 30s, but it's still playing these games on high settings, and that's due to the fact that the resolution of the screen is 1280 by 800. I think it's 1280 by 800. It's not 1080p by 1920, but when you look at it at the screen, it looks amazing. It looks like I'm looking at 1920. It's everybody who I've shown this to, people who have Xbox Series X, PS5s, when they look at it, they're like, oh my God, that looks better than my PS5, and it really does look great. Now, this is where when you do play the games on high settings though, I will say that if you play the game on high settings, because it's on high settings, and if you're playing at 60 FPS, it will take the battery down. And it shows you another great thing in the performance overlay. I love that, dude. I wanted that on like Xbox and all other types of stuff so much, but they have installed a performance overlay where you can see the FPS, how much GPU you're using, how much CPU. It's the greatest thing ever, but you can actually see how much power is drawing from it. And if you drop down the settings and you go down to 30 FPS, you drop down, go into normal or even low graphics, it will make the battery life better. But I will say the battery life is only, from what I've seen, I do play everything on high, I'm averaging only 2 hours and sometimes only 1 hour 45 minutes. So that does suck, but like I said, if you just go on the lower end, you're obviously gonna get more battery life. And I don't really know how to tell you how great this performs. I don't know how to show it to you, but I will say there was one thing it did that absolutely blew my socks off. And that is I was playing Apex Legends at 60 FPS. I installed OBS Studios and I streamed to Twitch with the Steam Deck and was playing Apex Legends multiplayer. The battery lasts about 2 hours. That's the only problem. If you lower the game settings like a computer though, it lasts a lot better.
We've got another. I'm down. Need a medic. Reloading.
I'm scared. I don't know what to do. I'm so trash. Good boys. Just don't mind that, okay? Don't look at that. That's not. Don't worry about it. That didn't happen, okay? That didn't happen. All right, that didn't happen. And not only that, I went a step further. I went to GTA 5 online while streaming. I had this hooked up. I had a mouse and keyboard with a webcam, overlays going. I had my whole Twitch set up, and I was streaming from this to Twitch. Oh my God. Right now, Gabe, Valve is looking at me like, why is he doing this? He should not be doing this. But I am doing this. Why? Because I'm stupid. I could not believe it. The fact that I was playing games online, and the fact that my internet is so horrible, I have to hardwire and that my Wi-Fi is trash, and that's the only thing that sucked is I had to put this on Wi-Fi, and I had one Wi-Fi bar streaming no problems. It blew me away. But then again, I guess that's where, when you do touch this, it feels like a console. You have a console feeling, like I said, it feels like an Xbox 360 controller. So I guess that's why it always feels like it blows me away, but it's a PC, and PCs do that. It just feels weird because it's so cheap, and I know laptops that are $400 that can't do this. So I guess that's where it gets me, but I was able to do that. I was able to play Apex Legends, GTA 5 at very intense settings, and the only thing that was holding me back was my internet. Not only can you do that, play games, you could emulate games. You could emulate anything you want to. Like I said, this is a PC. Anything a PC can do, this can do too. It's pretty mind-blowing. So we'll get past that and let's get into the bad. What do I have to say about this that's bad? And I had a lot a month ago, but like I said, one thing that also goes with the good, this is always updating and improving. And everything that I had to say about it has got updated, and it's good now. The touchscreen works flawlessly. Everything, the bug of freezing is good now. And so they're always updating this. So the only thing I have to say that's bad about this is Windows. That's the one thing that sucks, is that this doesn't have Windows on it. But then again, it's a PC. You can install Windows. They have drivers for on Steam. Just install Windows. But the fact that when you install it, there's some issues like the controllers might not work, stuff like that. You have to use a keyboard and mouse for it. And that's one thing that is with the bad. The only problem I have and why I want Windows is for games like Minecraft and like Call of Duty Warzone, stuff like that. And there are games that are like behind Microsoft's Iron Curtain. But that is to me, the only thing holding this thing back is the fact that it doesn't have Windows, and Windows kind of like locks behind a lot of its gaming, kind of like the App Store. It kind of has it behind there. It owns Minecraft and a bunch of other stuff. You use Microsoft Essential Things and try to get that to come over to the Steam Deck. That's really the only problem I see in this. But they're adding games every single day, and you can play Minecraft on this with PolyMC, but it just, you have to use a keyboard and mouse because there's no like keyboard controller input for Java Minecraft. I like Java Minecraft, and that's why I don't really want to use a keyboard and mouse on this, because to me this is a handheld. I don't want to plug in a keyboard and mouse to this, otherwise I'm just using a laptop. It's also why I don't like to have laptops for gaming, because when I feel like I'm at a laptop, I feel like I'm at a desk, and that's why I wanted one of these. I want to sit on my couch, lean back, put the screen in my face, and just lose some hours onto a game. So when I plug in a keyboard and mouse, it just feels like I'm losing that experience, and that's the whole reason why I got this. I wanted that desk, away from the desk experience. And this is very early, like a lot of people still don't have this. So the problems I'm saying now might just disappear. There might be some integration. I know Microsoft is working on making some stuff more integratable to this. And I've seen some people say that you could use like the cloud, the Xbox Game Anywhere stuff. Again, that's another thing. You're just using the internet to stream the game onto the Steam Deck. I'm not interested in that. I want the game downloaded on here. Like I said, I have bad Wi-Fi. My Wi-Fi is terrible. I actually tried to do it and the game was just lagging all over the place. I couldn't stream it to the Stream Deck just because my internet's bad. And the fact that the Microsoft Game Anywhere, you could do it on your phone, your iPad, your laptop, your TV. You can do it on anything. I want to be able to see what the power of this does to the game. But you can do that. Like I said, you can just install Windows. That's where it is pretty mind-blowing that it is so weird, because this is a computer. It's a computer. But a lot of times it doesn't feel like a computer, and that's where when it does stuff what a computer does, very well, it's mind-blowing. How is this possible? Because most consoles and most handhelds, especially the Switch, couldn't even think of ever doing something like this, especially the Switch. A lot of games nowadays, even Minecraft on the Switch, looks terrible. But I brung Minecraft up on this and it looked amazing. It looked just like it does on my $2,000 gaming PC. Anyways, my final thoughts on the Steam Deck. I look at this as like the Game Boy Color. To me, the Game Boy Color was the worst out of the Game Boys, but I hope that they continue to make this and there will be like a Steam Deck 2, and that will be like the Game Boy Advance, and then there'll be like a Steam Deck 3, and that'll be the best of the best, just like how the Game Boy Advance SP was the best of the best. And that's what I think this is. I think that's what we're looking at. Anyways, that's all I have for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope I answered some questions. I hope I shed some light on this. And maybe you're sitting around waiting for yours at the end of the year and you just want to watch these videos. I'll see you next time. I hope you enjoyed. If you want to see more Steam Deck stuff, feel free to subscribe.